Ladies and gentlemen, look like the residents of Chicago has had enough and they are trying to gain the power to recall Brandon Johnson, the sitting mayor of Chicago. They want him gone. Petition drive launched to give Chicago voters power to recall mayor. So they are trying to collect 56,464 valid signatures before August 5th in order for this question can be on November's ballot. Mayor Brandon Johnson has his hands full with the migrant crisis, the persistent robbery surge. Yeah, crime is going through the roof there, just like New York, from those migrants. Negotiations on new teacher contracts, and increasingly, a lot of pressure is on the city council. So now he's got another headache. A former technology salesman who lives in Lakeview has formed a political action committee to raise money and at least begin the formidable challenge of putting a binding referendum in place on November 5th ballot asking Chicago voters whether they want the power to recall their mayor. Daniel Bolin said the recall effort is about helping and empowering the people of Chicago, not about hurting Johnson, but he acknowledged his disappointment with the mayor's performance. Just the crime. People can't go out and even go to the grocery store without getting mugged. People can't sell their tamales out on the street without getting accosted by people who are armed. These armed juvenile thugs. That's one reason that's putting Bolin over the top. And, a lot of it is the migrants, y'all, the migrant situation. And I was reading, it must have been February, somewhere around there, where some of those migrants went out and did a drive by in Chicago. So, really, the thing that motivated more than anything was the mayor had a meeting scheduled with your editorial board at the Sun Times and then canceled it because you wouldn't go off the record. I thought that just violated every principle of honor and integrity. So, to get a recall referendum on the November ballot, he needs at least 56,464 valid signatures by August 5th. If it gets on the ballot and the question is approved in November, Chicagoans would be empowered to recall any present or future mayor, but Johnson still wouldn't be removed. Bolin would have to launch yet another petition drive collecting 122,503 valid signatures. If he clears the hurdle, Chicago voters would be empowered to recall Johnson in the next regular scheduled election of March of 2026. To me, that's too long of a wait. Bolin predicted an effort to recall Johnson stands a good chance. He pointed to a recent public opinion poll showing Johnson's approval rating at 20%. Wow, 20% range? Wow, that is low. And the defeat of the mayor's binding Bring Chicago Home referendum would have authorized the city council to raise the transfer tax on high end real estate transactions to combat homelessness. People got sold a bad bill of goods. Didn't Mayor Johnson run on a platform of transparency and accountability? If he's not doing either one of those things, he's not doing his job, and we're going to hold him accountable for that. This is a wake up call for him, Bolin said. It's apparent that he's owned the CTU. We want to make him accountable. We want him to cut strings and stop being a puppet for the CTU. And Johnson's political director, Christian Perry, said the mayor is not concerned about the recall effort. He is laser focused on delivering for the working class people of Chicago, Perry said. Mayor Brandon Johnson represents a movement of people who've been fighting against the status quo for some time. This is another attempt from folks who do not want to see working families and democratic ideals to be successful in the city of Chicago. That ain't it at all. The immigration problem and everything that Brandon Johnson is going above and beyond to do for these migrants, and they're having the same issues in Chicago as they are in New York. A lot of those illegals are breaking the law and they are committing crimes, and they get arrested and then get let go immediately. It's the same thing. It's the same pattern that you're seeing in New York is also going on in Chicago. And the people, they had enough. And I don't blame them for feeling the way that they do in Chicago. Good for them for trying to take a stand to do something about Brandon Johnson. It's definitely long overdue. So you can see the statement of organization that was filed on April 1st of 2024. It's in the avatar. And this is the committee for the recall of Chicago office of mayor. So they have already filed this. So right now, the campaign is on to get the required signatures so that the question can be placed on the ballot about giving the power to the people to recall a Chicago mayor. So, y'all, you're going to have to tell me what you think. I absolutely agree with this move that they're doing in Chicago. Go Chicago. Go Chi Town. I hope you are successful with this drive. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.